Hello, this is Cindy. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the long promised video of my craft room. We're coming in the door and I'm going to show you right away how small the room is. That's it. It's very tiny. So let's start at the beginning and we'll go through. So as we come in, I have these beautiful windows. To my side of my desk, poor Mickey's poking his face out there. That's just a bag of bags. There's my Big Shot. This is my recycling bag, my cutter, my water bottle. And then and I'll show you that's the view to my outside. That's my backyard. We're actually on a corner lot, so the driveway goes out to the street. Inside the room, here's my craft table. And no, excuse me, no, it is never this clean except when I'm in between projects. Every time I finish a project, I make sure I clean the whole thing off so I can start afresh. I'm going to move my chair out of the way and come over here to the table. So this set of shelves is pretty simple. You see that one is actually an ironing board. We had one that we didn't use anymore. I have a much larger one that folds and I use that one for most of my ironing. This one now is a shelf. And then this is just one of those, shelves. It's just a shelf. What's brand new to the room are both of these. First of all, the shelving unit is brand new, like 2 hours old. I have been trying to get my mount off the table itself because every time I hit the table, the camera jiggles. So we wanted to get it mounted to the wall. My husband finally came up with the idea of putting a shelf up there. And I said, I'm sure I'll find something to put on the shelf. And look what I found. I got that for Christmas and I am so excited to use it. So I don't think that's where it's going to live, but for the purposes of this video, that's where it is. And hanging on the wall is a photograph that my niece took of Hobbiton because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Coming out to the other window, there's the street. There is the park across the street. And of course you saw the hummingbird in the other window. There's the hummingbird there. My husband made both of those out of stained glass and I love them. On my shelf here within easy reach are my quarter rounders and my 2 little hole punches. And I leave those stamps out so I don't forget to put, I stamp everything with the blue stamp that says Handcrafted Original so that everybody knows. And then I sign my work. Next to my craft table, I have all my washi. I have 2 bins of washi. I need to get a third one. I use the bins that I have are the ones that I can get them from Michael's and they're meant to keep beads in. Excuse me, sorry. And I put probably 4 or 5 washi, depending upon the thickness of the washi, in each slot, and it makes it real easy to see. And then I color code it and it's perfect. But I've gotten a lot of washi over the past couple of months. And in fact, this washi I just got for Christmas, so I really need to get another one and redo my washi. I have 3 drawers down below, pretty simple stuff. There's ribbons in that one. There are, just all sorts of things in here, mostly cereal liners, that sort of thing, cardboard. And then in the bottom, there are some puzzle pieces and 6x6 paper packs. And next to it is Christmas Christmas ribbons I really don't have any other place for, so they live there. And then beside that, the Club Snack Stacks is really waiting for a purpose. I'm sure I'll figure one out sooner or later. The tins hold some of my punches. I love that tin. And then there's just some assorted things in the back that I use, some supplies. Up above, these are all completed pieces. These are completed tags and journal cards. These are completed folders. These are completed folded paper pockets. These are folded pockets that are completed. And above that, because I make use of all my space, I have these triangles were my dad's. My dad was a draftsman. Oops, sorry. And then he became a senior designer. And he was one of the first people in his company to, in fact, was the first person to use AutoCAD when AutoCAD first came out. And it was an MS-DOS based program, for those of you who know what that is. Okay, I'm going to back up because to show you the corner here, I want you to see how there's that corner there? There's a whole section here that is bumped out or bumped into the room. And on the other side of that is a closet, because the people who owned this house in the 70s decided they needed more closet space. This particular room had been used as a nursery. Well, they didn't need it as a nursery anymore. So they just took a little bit more out of what was already the smallest room in the house. This room is from this direction to the window is 8 feet. From the bump out section to the window behind me is 7 feet. So it's a small room. So let's take a look at what I have hidden over here in this section here. They had already put shelves in here, so we just use the same shelves that they have. And I have all sorts of things in here. Miscellaneous pieces up on the top shelf. On the very top shelf, I have stuff that I don't use very often because it's hard to reach. I'm short. And then the next shelf down, those are bins of things, again, that I don't use very often. These next two sets of shelves have paper in them, and this one's a little off, so let's go ahead and grab it. And I'll show you what I mean. I color code all my scraps. So when you buy a paper pack and it has blues in it, this particular one gets all the blues. So you can see all the different blues. So when I want a blue piece of paper, just a scrap of one, I go to that. That one's very full. Sorry for the camera work or lack thereof. But they're color coded. There's purple and green and red and all sorts of stuff in there. And then these two are scraps. Coming down, the bins are used to have projects in those bins, some miscellaneous stuff. Those are extra large pieces of scraps. I have all my extra whites here. In the Famous Amos box are all my napkins. And I'm not going to try to open up those bins down below, the drawers down below, but suffice it to say, there's 8.5 by 11 printed paper down in the very bottom one. There are strips of borders and whatnot in the second one, the middle one, and the top one has page protectors for my notebooks. Okay, coming back again. Giving you a big shot here. Let me move my chair so I can get even a better shot. I told you, there's not a lot of room in here. You got to move something in order to get anything done. The top shelf, of course, everybody needs paper towel in their room. And then those are all fasteners. Mostly paper clips and binder clips and corners, hardware. There's a lot of hardware up there. Coming down this particular bin, see if I can get over here a little bit. Like it says alphabet, and I don't know what that says. I don't have my glasses on, so whatever it says. But that's where I keep a lot of the ephemera pieces. All my books that I'm either in the process of tearing apart or, I'll grab a page here and there out of those. My stamps, blenders and my stamp pads, small stamp pads, more ephemera pieces. This has some, behind all the labels, there are die cuts. Inside here, again, more stuff. And then, of course, all my Altoid tins. My husband loves Altoids, cinnamon Altoids specifically. And so I get him a pack of 12 every year. And that leaves me with a lot of tins. we recycled them the first year, and then I said, you know what? I'm doing this stuff now. I really want to keep some of those. So I keep them, and I have all sorts of stuff inside of them. I also have this particular bin that's very old. That's from the 60s. And that has my more ink. And then coming over, we have more Altoid tins, and this is my label maker. The empty bins I use when I do a craft project. I will take, I will, for example, I will decide what the washies are that I want to use for that particular piece, and I'll grab one of these and I'll put all the washies in it and then put it over on the craft table. That's everything gets pulled out, put in those, and then put on the craft table. The dresser, I'm not really sure where it came from. It may have come from my mom's family. I don't know. It's old, and we used it when the kids were little because the drawers are not very deep. It's not very big. So sorry, keep getting a catch in my throat. So we used it for the kids when they were little. And then once they got older and got their own real dressers, adult size dressers, we moved this up into the attic. Threw a blanket over the top of it. Sorry, just getting a drink of water. Threw a blanket over the top of it in the corner and then completely forgot about it. And I was getting something out of there this summer, and I thought, what is that lump in the corner? I don't even remember what's under that blanket. And I pulled the blanket back, and there was this dresser. And I said, oh, I have a use for that. So my husband and my son brought it downstairs, and the drawers all had to be remade because it was in the attic for over 20 years. And so the joints were all dried out. It really needed a little bit of work. It still obviously needs a little work, but I don't care. I use it here for my crafts, and it works perfectly. So I love it. And the shelves on top of it were made, my husband made those in the house that we used to live in. When we first got married, we had no shelf space whatsoever. And so he made a whole bunch of shelves, like 5 of these or so. And we used them in various spots around the house. Well, when we moved into this house, we didn't need shelves. And I'll show you why in a few minutes. Stick with me. And so, yeah, I ended up with all these extra sets of shelves that just kind of hang out and are used in different places around the house. And I said, I'm going to snitch one of those for my craft room. And there it is. This set of shelves my husband made for me this summer, actually early summer. That's my dad hanging up on the wall. It's his senior picture, and it was his stage debut. My dad was very shy and retiring. Would never, ever be up on stage, but we did a production of The Glass Menagerie, and in that, the father is only ever seen in his picture. He never appears on stage. He's only talked about. And so we used my dad's senior picture, and he was thrilled. He came opening night. We hadn't told him. The curtains open, and there he is on stage with this senior picture, and he was thrilled. He thought that was great. Good opportunity to be on stage. So there's all sorts of different things on here. I've got stamps over there. I have lace in that particular bin. Those are some journals that people have swapped with me. Some larger pieces of paper. This particular box has, you've seen me make these in the past. These are ribbons. I have more ribbons here. I have lots of ribbon. These are just papers to use. There's some coffee dyed papers. These are projects that I'm currently working on. These are finished journal pages and pockets. That's stuff I have bought that I haven't used yet. I have my bingo daubers that I also use sometimes as edging for coloring the edges of things. And then there are more 6x6 pads in there. All my stamps in a box that I made, and I think I did a video on that. This particular box I have not done yet. I've been using the box, but I haven't actually made it nice and pretty, and I will be doing that at some point. Maybe I'll do it on camera. We'll see. If you want to know how it's done, leave a note in the comments below. 12 by 12 packs. I think I have a few. Those are all regular ones, and those are Christmas ones. In between are, oh my glory, this just loose ephemera. This is my junk pile. This is every time I don't know what to do with anything, it goes into that section. And yeah, it's just a mess. Down below, those are project boxes. I have projects in each one of those. These are extra scrapbooks and other pieces of stuff. That on the floor is my travel journal that I'm currently still working on and have not yet finished. And coming up to the fourth wall, okay, where are we here? We got the picture up on the top of Sugar Ridge. That's where my ancestors came over. When they came over from Ireland, they settled on a mountain ridge in Pennsylvania. It's called Sugar Ridge. They built a church there, and St. John Neumann blessed it and did confirmations there. And I'm related to half the people in the cemetery. So my husband painted that several years ago, and I'm glad he did, because that tree no longer exists. The tree has finally come down, and yeah, I like it with the tree. Just bags, my father's T-square, more bags, some envelopes. I like to use mugs to keep things in. We collect mugs from lots of different places. This is a turntable, and so I have mugs and glasses and all sorts of things in there. You have all my markers, and my scissors are in here. I keep my fabric scissors over here so that they don't get mixed up with my daily scissors, my daily paper scissors. More Altoid tins that I haven't used yet. And of course, brushes. This particular piece of furniture is a dry sink that was my great uncle's, and on my dad's side, and my mom refinished it at one point, and it looks absolutely stunningly beautiful, and I love it. And then we're back to the door. That is the door to the bathroom. I told you, if those of you who've listened to me in the past, I always say I'm not too far from the bathroom. It's right around the corner. So when I have to clean up, it's not very far away. So there's my craft room. I'm going to pause you for a minute, and I'll take you to another room and show you something else. So this room coming in, this is a 5-bedroom Queen Anne Victorian, and we only needed really 3 of the rooms to be bedrooms. And this is our library / study. And it's my favorite room. That's my chair. I spend a lot of time in my chair. If you notice, the books keep on going. We're not done. Let me keep going. We've got another bookshelf back here behind the door. It is currently a bit of a mess because this is also where I wrap all my Christmas presents on that folding table. The folding table usually is down, and then there's a little bit more space over there. But right now it's set up for crafting. I have an electric tea kettle over there that I use. When we moved in, these shelves were not here, and we used the little bit of shelving that we had. And then we said, I saw a picture that had the shelves go over the door and made kind of like an entranceway into the door. And I said, wouldn't that be cool to do in the study? And I said, but I would want cupboards down below, because there are some things I'd like to sometimes you just want to open a cupboard and shove something in it. And then when guests come over, it looks all nice and pretty, and you don't have to worry about the mess, because you can hide the mess in the cupboards. And so we put cupboards down below, and this up at the top. I'm going to bring you over and show you some of the detail work, just because it's very cool. So that's the detail work on the sides. And then the window mirrors that, because you have spring, no, that one's summer, going into autumn, going spring, no, sorry, winter, those are snowflakes, and spring with the April showers. This particular stained glass was not here. This was a solid wood door when we first moved in. And this panel in the middle, the plain panel, was actually there. And that was it, just this little narrow panel in that door. And my husband said, I bet we could take those panels out and do something with them. So we both do stained glass. but he made this particular piece, and I absolutely love what he did with it. It ended up coming out beautifully. So we have all of these books. I've read a lot of them. My computer, some more paintings by my husband, a map of the city of Rochester, which is this town I grew up in. And then because I don't have quite enough room in my craft room, this particular piece of furniture came from Pier 1, and I had it in my craft room for a long time. And it has solid color 8.5 by 11s. And, just stuff. But this is more craft stuff because I don't have enough, obviously. And then there's just a little nook over there with, notice, more books. There are always more books, more journals. This is cool. This my dad made for me. My dad was pretty handy. And it comes out and you can dry things on it, which I do. You know what I mostly use it for in the summertime and the fall is drying herbs on it. I'll tie my herbs to it. And that is the study. I'm going to come around. So you've seen my craft room. You've seen the study. These are the two rooms I spend most of my time in. I hope you enjoyed this tour. If you're enjoying the video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Click the like button if you really enjoyed it. That helps me. That just helps YouTube know that you are liking what I'm putting out. So please make sure you click the like button. In the meantime, I hope you're having a great time. And this is Cindy signing off.